brand new Ike Live Show. This is show 100. Hope you're having a wonderful evening. I know I am. This is the Halloween special. I don't know if you can guess, but I am the Star-Lord.
The Star-Lord.
The Star-Lord.
It's just Star-Lord.
Star-Lord. I am Star-Lord. Sitting to my right is my daddy, my father. Father, what is your name?
Ego.
Ego joins us as the co-host tonight. And sitting to my left,
The creator.
you're the creator? Oh, you're the creator of all things.
Yeah.
Sitting to my left, two very, very special in-studio guests, Daniel and Corey. That's their code name, but their real names are
Ronan, Hogmaster of the Galaxy.
Ronan, Hogmaster of the Galaxy, and he's joined by
Thanos.
Thanos. He's joined by Thanos. We've got a great show lined up for you tonight, along with the amazing Tackle Warehouse guys, Daniel and Corey. We also have two very special Skype guests tonight. Mark Jeffries of Bass Talk Live and Mark Zona of The Z Show will be joining us a little later in the show.
The Z Show.
The Z Show. It's going to be a great show. Let me introduce the rest of the room real quick, clack, clack. Sitting on our couch tonight, our fireside couch, we've got the one and only Miss Gamora. Gamora.
Oh, hi there. Shoot, I didn't even put my headset on.
Okay. Gamora, who are you wearing tonight, Gamora?
This is intergalactic style.
Intergalactic Style from
Yeah.
Gamora.
Yeah,
Well, it's great to have you on the show, Gamora.
thank you.
And pushing buttons, producing the show tonight, sitting first to my right, we've got the one and only Riz, but that's not his real name. Riz, what is your name?
Rocket.
Rocket. Riz the Rocket.
Or the raccoon. Raccoon Rocket.
Raccoon Rocket.
My
And-
cousin is behind you against the wall.
Okay. He is. He's back there. And sitting next to the raccoon,
Standing even.
we've got the one and only producer of Ike Live Pushing Buttons, Brian the Carpenter. But what's your real name, Brian? Who are you?
Yondu. I am Yondu.
Yonder.
Yondu.
Pete, how
Yondu.
does Yondu sound?
I can't even whistle right now. Whistle for me, Riz. Somebody whistle.
Pete can't whistle right now.
Yeah.
And finally, last but not least, we have Zach in the house tonight. Where is Zach?
Downstairs.
He's downstairs.
Working.
You're going to be surprised.
He
a
is
little
Groot.
bit.
He'll be with us.
Let me remind you, we got a great show. This is show 100, Pete. We're going to be talking about, we're going to be getting nostalgic tonight that this show has actually been around for that period of time. 100 episodes. Very, very excited to make it this far.
In that time, how many times have we been canceled?
We've been canceled. How many times have we been canceled, Brian Carter?
Canceled?
Yeah.
I mean,
Why are we canceled?
I
it was
don't know.
canceled.
I thought we might have got it canceled a couple times.
I don't think we've
Some
ever been
controversy.
canceled.
Some,
I mean, we've been blocked
Some
for
craziness.
cranking Bass Pro Shops.
yeah.
That's okay.
And we got sued by Boyd Duckett.
I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. And real quick, before we get in the show, let me run down the list of sponsors, amazing companies that make this show possible. Of course, the presenting sponsor, Mystery Tackle Box. It's fishing simplified. Man, go to mysterytacklebox.com. Use the promo code Ike Live. You get 15% off your first month of your subscription. Pete also brought to we're also brought to you by Real Snot, longer cast, further cast, less bird's nest. I had a few today out on the bay. I had to use more Real Snot. Also brought to you by TH Marine, Dr. Squatch, Primal Urge Foods, Liquid Mayhem, Flambeau, Hobie, Founders Beer. We're all drinking some Founders tonight. Got some Green Zebra. What else we got going on?
I got the solid gold
Little
premium
solid
lager.
gold going on tonight.
Crispy.
Yes, crispy.
Frosty.
And
got
also
the
brought to
Dunkin'
you
Donuts.
by Tackle Warehouse, and they're sitting right next to us. Amazing folks at Tackle Warehouse.
Yes, sir.
And Pete, I want to make a big announcement here while we're going over the Ike Live supporters. We got a brand new Ike Live sponsor, the Fisherman Fishing Planet game.
Yes.
And you're going to be seeing a little content from Riz and Brian playing that game. It's amazing. Let me tell you, I'm not much of a gamer, but as far as the realistic fishing, scenarios, casting, hooking giant fish, you can't get any better than this game. please go to thefishermanfishingplanet.com to check this game out. It's awesome. Available on all platforms, by the way. Wanted to mention that real quick. Let me start by saying, Pete, I want to thank all the fans for watching. You are what makes this show possible, so thank you for, are we 6 years or 5 years? Do you know?
I think it's 6 years.
6 years of letting us come into your home every night, feeling like serial rapists. We really appreciate that. And we appreciate all the support. We're going to be giving away tons, I mean tons, of amazing prizes tonight. And I want to remind you, if you're watching over on Facebook, please like and share the Ike Live feed. If you do that, you're going to be entered into a contest to win the Ike Live gift bag loaded with all our sponsor products. Also, want to remind everybody that if you're a YouTube person, you can now watch us on the Ike Live YouTube page. I'm not sure how you find it. You got to do a lot of stuff. But once you find it, you can watch us over there live tonight as well. So it's going to be a great show. Before we get the show started and start talking some business here, I want to say thank you to all the military out there, men and women, active and veterans. Thank you guys for what you do. It's a crazy world. Also, big shout out to our policemen, our firemen, our EMT. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your dedication. Really appreciate that. Let's see. I think that's all the stuff. And I have to take this mask off because I'm hot already. You got to take it off. So if you're watching tonight and you have a question or comment at any point tonight, of course, hit us up on the IM. Riz is going to be checking it every minute. Also, if you're a social person, hit us up on our social feeds at Ike Live Show, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And we will be periodically monitoring our social feeds for your question and comments. Let me get right into it and want to say thank you to our guests here that traveled really far from across the galaxy. Let me start with Thanos. Thanos, you get a bad rap a lot. I think people assume that you're trying to kill everybody or thin out a lot of the general population. I don't think you're a bad guy deep down inside, you know? I think I sort of feel like you're Byron Velvick. You're misunderstood.
True. Not everybody, just the blondes.
Oh, I see. All right, so is there anything else happening right now that in the galaxy that's important to you? Any big things going on?
Are you talking about? I think you're talking about?
Yes, I am.
I thought we weren't going to talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Okay. Tackle Warehouse will be starting a warehouse in Georgia coming soon.
What?
Oh!
Wow.
Wow, we had to get Thanos in the studio to actually hear this. Wow, this is exciting news.
No details yet. Still just very infancy in the beginning stages, but we are working on a location and building and warehouse in Georgia.
Wow. Now you're a galaxy traveler as well.
Yes.
Obviously, we can see it in your eyes. How do you feel about this Georgia expansion of what's become an institution of tackle buying?
I think it's awesome. I mean, the place that we are right now is a little town, San Luis Obispo, in Central Coast of California, and the rate at tackle's growing. It's hard to find warehouse space there.
Yeah.
We're limited on that, so if the business is going to continue to grow,
Yeah.
which is awesome. So thank you, everyone, all the tackle warehouse shoppers. So
Yes.
we love you guys.
Big shout out to all the tackle warehouse supporters.
Riz, that was for you.
all over the universe.
That was a thanks to Riz.
all over the universe.
53.
Now, Papa, we've said this before.
Father.
Being a little cheeky on the show, we say that everybody shops at Tackle Warehouse, but there is some truth to that. I mean, we get to travel a lot through tournament fishing.
Mm-hmm.
We get to do it through Bash University. I don't know very many people that don't shop at Tackle Warehouse. Is that not unbelievable?
Yeah, it's true what they've been able to do. I mean, they've impacted everybody. Everybody you talk to, it's weird. They're just it's a tackle warehouse. anything you need is at Tackle Warehouse. If you need it in a tournament situation, Tackle Warehouse. Every house that I stay at, there'll be 4 or 5 guys that are in the tournament.
Yeah.
And the day before the tournament,
boxes show up.
everybody's got a Tackle Warehouse box sitting at the door waiting for you when you get home from registration.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
Even the Bass Pro guys.
Even the Bass Pro guys. Thanos, what do you think about Kevin Van Dam using Tackle Warehouse?
No comment.
Oh! No comment on that one.
Now, are you going to shut down operations in California to go to Georgia? Or are you going to keep both things running?
No, we'll definitely keep both runs going. Definitely have both locations up and going, and just shipping from both. And operations we run mostly from California, and
Okay.
then more warehouse kind of stuff based out of Georgia.
Are you targeting the Amazon warehouse employees to staff your Georgia facility?
No, not specifically, but there are a lot of warehouses in Georgia in general. So we're kind of going after. That's one of the reasons we picked that location. We already have tennis warehouse already has some stuff there, so we kind of can tap into that as well.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. It's good to know. Now, would you guys ever consider going back to the old paper master catalogs that companies like Northern Bass
Yeah,
Supply
remember that? Yeah.
and Bass Pro Shop used?
Never.
Never. Never.
That was a riveting question.
Print is dead.
We never had one. So that was
never had one?
That was our number one question for the first 3 years. Do y'all have a catalog?
Yeah.
And we got 20, 30 calls a day.
And when people asked it, they said y'all, so you could
usually y'all
geographically place
I guess
them.
that's the running joke, I guess.
I'm hanging up.
Or used guys.
Or use guys.
Yeah.
When I was
It's the best part of Tackle Warehouse, though, because every time I would have to call Bass Pro back in the day, the little old ladies would answer, and they'd be like, "Honey, what's your item number?" And I'm like, "I don't know. He said he needed a black and blue whatever." So when we started working with Tackle Warehouse, I was like, "Thank you, Lord," because then I'd call up and I'd say, "I need the black and blue whatever." They're like, "Yeah, you need the 4 or 6 inch," and I'd be like, "Yeah, the 4." And they're like, "Okay, what's next?" And I'm like, "Thank you, Lord," and I never call Bass Pro Shops again.
Yeah, I do.
Shout out to the customer service guys.
A big time shout out to customer service Tackle Warehouse. I do.
All customer service guys know Becky's voice.
That's the story I was just going to tell you. It's so true. Dude, it's so funny. So I'll be on the water a lot of times, right? And I don't even want to waste the time to call, right? So like I realize that it's my last bait, right? Or I realize I'm down to a pack or something. And it's happening. It's gone on. And the derby starts tomorrow or the next day. Dude, I call Beck and I send her this detailed text, or I send a picture of the item. I said, please, call them right now.
There's no please,
and
but
get this
go ahead.
overnighted. And they do. I would say 9 times out of 10. And I'm talking about different customer service representatives at Tackle Warehouse. They all do know your voice.
Every last one goes, "Is this Becky?" And I'm like, "Yeah." That's me. They're like, "All right, what does he need?"
That's so awesome. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing.
What separated them for me was, you needed something unusual. You know what I mean? You're getting on a bait with a particular color that's super hot, and you got to call this company, then this company, and then this company to get it. And you guys, TW always has it. That always amazed me, like how you guys carry radical SKUs on really, that other companies just can't stock.
Yeah.
But you guys always have the obscure stuff, the weird colors, all the crazy stuff that we need. How do you guys do that?
Honestly, most of the guys there are all fishermen, they're the buyers, so they've all kind of gone after stuff they wanted to have and they wanted to throw. They're on websites, cruising around looking for stuff, trying to find what's new, what's hot. So we're always just trying to. The guys there all want it, just like you guys want it. So we're always trying to keep it in stock and just get what's new, what's cool, and try to get the stuff you can't get everywhere else too.
Yeah, an amazing selection, by the way, of JDM items as well, which is hard to find anywhere else.
Can we also talk about that? Whatever you order and you have to rush for a tournament, it's a bite killer. Like, you won't catch them on that bait.
That is so true. That is so true.
I have to have this.
Riz, has that ever happened to you? You need something, you get it overnighted, and then 9 times out of 10 that it just doesn't work the next day.
Yes, often. Always end up going
lot.
back to the black and blue chatterbait.
A lot, almost to the point where I'd rather go into the Derby with one pack of baits anymore. Seriously.
Play the odds.
Seriously. It's
I
scary.
just always tell them, I couldn't get it.
Oh, you lied to me. Gamora.
It's an experiment.
You-
You say.
It's a
You
bad feeling,
green
though.
girl, Gamora.
It's a really bad feeling if like you're on something and you only got one of those in the box or in the boat or whatever, and you go into it with one bait. It's
Yeah.
Has that ever happened to you on Derby Day where you legitimately ran out and you're
It-
catching them?
It
on
has
that deal?
happened.
Really?
It has happened before. It has happened where I've run out in a situation where it's soft plastics. I use, I keep the scraps. When I know
Yep.
I'm down, I
Yeah.
keep the scraps.
Start gluing.
And I use glue.
Yeah.
Spike It has this great Mend It that has a brush on it. I love that stuff. Or some kind of glue to mend the plastics. But it has happened. It has happened. And actually at Mississippi River, I was catching them on a little jerkbait, a little tiny Rapala jerkbait. And of course, I have two of them going to the tournament. I specifically did not call Tackle Warehouse or Dan Quinn because I'm like, it's the kiss of death. I'm not going to order anymore. And wouldn't you know, like the first day, I get right on the juice, and my first cast, my leader knot snaps for the braid to floor, and it goes, and it's gone. And I'm down to one the rest of the tournament, and I'm lucky enough to not lose that one.
How did you react when that happened?
I was pretty upset. I don't remember. I don't think I had a camera on me at the time, but I was
Walk us
pretty.
through it.
I was as upset or more upset than the 3-pounder I lost today on the rocks. I can tell you that.
I think they heard you over here when you lost that.
They
one.
probably did. I was very, very upset at them damn
Filth, Florida.
fish were coming off. Saying a lot of stuff. I want to switch gears and talk to you about something. I want to know who gets the credit for this because it's genius. We talk all the time here at Ike Live. We talk about companies or brands that do an amazing job at marketing themselves and promoting themselves. Who came up with free Tackle Warehouse stickers, free Tackle Warehouse T-shirts for orders over 50? Because that's freaking genius. I cannot, dude. I see more Tackle Warehouse stickers than I do BASS stickers on the back of trucks anymore. That's not a knock to Bass, but when we were kids, every truck would have a Bass sticker on it, right? Dude, now it's a Tackle Warehouse sticker.
That's cool.
Everybody you see, who came up with that? Who gets credit for that?
I would love to say it was my idea, but Tennis, which was one of our sister companies, they were doing it for a while, and then we kind of started doing it, and it doing well for us. They actually quit doing it because all those free shirts do kind of add up and they get expensive.
Right.
And we continued to do it, and we took the loss and did it for good reasons, obviously, and we kept it going all these years. Like for a couple of times, they tried to shut it down because it does add up after a while.
Yeah.
But it's
great.
worth it.
It's
Yeah.
great advertising, though. I mean, the T-shirts, the stickers you see, you can't go anywhere in a fishing community without seeing them.
I wish I had a picture. Some guy sent us a picture years ago. His whole truck, Tackle Warehouse stickers. He did Tackle Warehouse stickers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was his name Eric the Intern?
It might have been.
Oh.
Not confirmed or denied.
All right, now I want to switch gears again and talk a little bit about something. You guys, of course, have been on Ike Live. How many times? This is 100 shows, but I'd say you guys have been on 2 or 3 times at least. Two or three times in studio.
I think we made a little cameo in the background when you had Jared on, maybe a few years ago. And-
Shout out Jared Littner, by the way.
Jared. And then last Christmas, the other camera guy, Mike, and I were on.
Yes.
So holiday episodes we've been.
Yeah, you're
rolling
big
through.
on the holiday stuff.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Did you
So-
like Christmas better or this one where you can't breathe out of the mask?
It's still early.
All right, so I know you guys have explained this before, but we probably have new viewers tonight watching. You mentioned Tackle, Tennis Warehouse. Talk a little bit about that. Talk about, you guys just aren't Tackle Warehouse. You do have some different arms to the business as well.
Yeah, Tennis Warehouse was the first of the businesses. They're all separate companies on their own.
Yeah.
But Tennis was the first to start back. I mean, they were around before Google, and then Tennis came around, and then it was Skate. Thank you, Dan. Oh, Ronan. Skate Warehouse ourselves, the same time. There's a riding warehouse. We have racquetball warehouse. Inline warehouse, roller derby, which is also part of inline.
Ice hockey.
Ice hockey.
Wow.
Yeah, and Pickleball Warehouse is a new one. Believe it or not.
Total
No.
pickleball.
Yeah, pickleball.
Pickleball.
Is there
All
enough?
the rage.
Wait,
Yo,
is there
pickleball-
enough
pickleball
stuff that
gets
you
hard.
could?
It's a big deal. It was just an old person sport. Now all the kids are playing it, and like, all the guys at work play it
This isn't true.
every day.
Yeah, it's sweeping the nation.
What?
It is, yeah. They're
Look up-
turning
Is this true?
It's sweeping
public-
San Luis Obispo. I'm not sure about the nation.
The nation, 100% the nation.
This is the first I'm hearing about it.
All of that elementary schools getting teamed
Pickleball.
together tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah, all the retirement communities like in Florida. Oh yeah, and
But
I
wait,
mean,
what is
even
the
some of
gear you need for pickleball?
It's almost like
You
a
need-
paddle with a
Well, you need a
wiffle ball.
pickle.
Paddle and wiffle ball. Just like
Ball.
tennis. What do you need for tennis? You need a racket and a ball, but there's string and other stuff to go.
Give it
with.
little skirts.
Yeah,
and
skirts.
Special
Shoes.
sneakers.
Yeah.
Cute sneakers.
All right, now I want everybody watching right now. Here's the first prize question we have. We want you to comment in, send your IMs through. I want you to suggest the next type of activity or sport that should be warehoused by these guys.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear it. Best one will win another Ike Live gift bag.
Okay.
There you go. We're going to be giving away a lot of prizes.
Best activity. Now, Mike, are there any guidelines for the activity? Does it
No
have to be
guidelines.
sports related? Can
Doesn't
it just
have
be
to-
Any
well-
activity.
I mean, shit, if you got one for pickleball,
Well,
you
it's
could
got to
do
be some
anything.
sort of sport.
Well, it
They're
has
all
to be an
sports
activity.
Activity related.
Yeah, activity
Like-
related.
They laugh the hardest at.
The big flip stick on the message board wants to know what's going on with these costumes and talking about pickles on the show so much.
I know.
Yeah, damn right.
That is a little strange.
Something's going on in the control
You
room.
don't want to
he
know.
said.
What's going on now, guys? Do you have requests? Do you have requests to say, hey, you should have a hunting warehouse or a what's the next big request?
Most of the requests we get is from the fishing world, just because we're doing tackle, which is really bass.
Yeah.
But hear a lot of guys wanting to do inshore redfish, crappie,
saltwater
that kind of
warehouse?
stuff. And
Yeah,
honestly, if you would have asked me 10 years ago, we probably would have already had that stuff. But we're just trying to keep up with the bass stuff. We're growing so
Right.
fast right now.
right.
Just trying to keep with that going.
Yeah.
Before we branch off too much.
Yeah. Now, Ronan, talk a little bit about. I know you get to do a lot of really amazing video content. You get to shoot some cool videos. You were on a shoot before you came here, maybe a couple weeks ago, and doing it for Tennis Warehouse. Talk a little bit about that trip because it's pretty amazing. I think people will be excited to hear that.
Yeah, so it's something that I'd like to do for the tackle industry as well. But this last year, Tennis Warehouse came up with a new series called Brandography. So this year we've already gone. We went to Japan to get the story behind Asics. You guys might know Asics shoes. They
yeah.
make tennis gear. So what it is I mean, it's brandography, a biography of brands. So getting the backstory, the history, the characters, what influences them, their surroundings, try and tell the story so people can kind of connect to the product and the brand.
Right.
And so yeah, this month I've been home, I think 3 days total.
Wow.
So before this, we went from San Luis Obispo to London, from London to Austria, and then Switzerland, and then I had a weekend free. Shout out to my girlfriend; she's been putting up with that. I've traveled a lot this year, so thank you, Candace.
Takes a lot.
But
Takes a lot.
yeah, I'm really proud of the series. If you guys want to check it out, we did Asics. Head is the one that I just went on. They make skis and rackets. Out of Austria, and in London they have their marketing and stuff, so we went and checked out the creative part of the company there. And we've also done Babolat. I don't know if any of you guys know tennis, but they make rackets there in France.
Pete,
so.
you're a big tennis player.
I was, yeah.
Yeah.
I still am from time to time.
Okay, you know Babolat.
I've never heard of that brand.
Okay.
Yeah, that's.
You know Rafa Nadal?
Yeah,
He plays with their.
Is that
their
right?
gear. Yeah.
no kidding. Well, he's the man. Certainly I guess he's the second greatest of all time.
Behind Federer.
Right.
Yeah.
Behind Pete?
Pete
but
was, Pete was pretty strong in his day.
I was exceptional in the lower Gloucester County area.
What,
I was top.
Pete, what kind of grip did you play with?
Pete's grip.
Pete's grip, Pete's not. I don't know.
Pete's rock.
You know, I got to say, I did see Candace out with Iron Man on social media while you were away, Thanos.
I better get home.
Oh man.
No, but I'd love to do that and recreate it with a lot of the tackle, the people that have history. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm somewhat new compared to you guys when it comes to bass fishing, so I'm always interested in I'm a big documentary fan, and getting the backstory and the characters behind it is something I think a lot of people are interested about.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get some of the big brands together and tell their story.
And there's a lot of history there. You know, I mean, think about some of the history of the brands, but before everybody starts buying, like everybody's buying everybody now. You know, I don't know, but that whole thing bugs me. You know, but anyway, the history of a Mann's Bait Company, right? Tom Mann started this institution. The history of a Rebel, you know, the early days before Pradco ruined them. You know, that kind of thing. I would watch the crap out of them. Yeah. It's pretty, you know, it's interesting, the history there, you know? And the hats. I want to wear them high hats.
I'm a big fan of hats.
Of course, you know?
How those brands were so connected to the sport of fishing and tournament fishing.
Yeah.
How they were built by tournament wins and, you know, guys promoting their products and putting them on the stage. Remember, Mann's spinnerbait, Hank Parker.
The classic spinnerbait.
Yeah, people still are
The
throwing
jelly worm.
the classic spinnerbait.
Yeah.
People are still telling me that's the pattern they're on, you know, from time to time.
Right.
You know.
And they say the classic spinnerbait by Mann's.
Yep.
Specifically, they call it out.
That's what they call it.
Wow.
You
Wow.
know? And there's so many brands, you know, Zoom, you know what he did, and of course he recently passed away. But those brands have, you know, they changed the whole sport, and they helped us all catch fish. I think it's I'm excited to hear those stories.
Yeah, I hope that materializes, Daniel. I'd love to see that. I'd watch the heck out of it. Brian the Carpenter, go back. Tell me some of your favorite brands from the old days, the young years. I want to tell you mine. I want to get you to say one.
Pro Keds. What are we talking about?
We're talking about old brands in fishing. When you look at a
Brands in
brand,
fishing.
yeah, dude, Berkeley,
Mann's.
the old Berkeley.
Yeah.
Berkeley before Berkeley was in the pure fishing conglomerate.
Yeah, for me, it was Mann's. I mean, that's what we started with.
Mann's?
Jelly worm,
Yeah.
the tail worm.
Yep, but the original power worm.
Oh, the original power.
You know,
worm.
that whole, I can still smell. I can close my eyes and smell the original power.
Smell of catching fish.
Dude.
To smell a gut hooking fish.
Dude, blue fleck,
they gutted it.
camo, black shark tail.
motor oil.
Man.
For me, and it was the original floating minnow. It was the Rapala.
Rapala.
Oh, yeah.
The very first bass I caught.
Now, was it Rapala or was it Rapala back in the day for you?
It was Rapala. It was
Rapala.
Rapala. I've been gravitating to Rapala lately, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
But you can say it both ways. But I remember the first time I actually caught a bass that I was trying to catch. Like I was going bass fishing.
Yeah.
And the Rapala floating minnow put a bass. I was blown away. Like because I just thought fishing was random. You know what I mean?
Luck.
You would catch what you would catch that day.
Yeah.
And for the first time, I was targeting bass, and I caught them on a Rapala. And
Wow.
And yeah, that changed everything.
Yeah.
You know.
It's amazing. I hope that happens. I'd love to see that series. Now, talk a little bit about, I know a lot of people are watching right now, and they're probably saying, man, you got these two guys from in the galaxy. Why are they here? But you guys were here this week. We were doing some filming. And how it had to be, your vlog series has to be super popular. I mean, it's something that I like look out for it all the time. I'm a junkie, tackle junkie. I go to Tackle Warehouse and browse as much as Becky goes to, you know, Amazon and clothing stores and browses. I browse on Tackle Warehouse all the time. And I love the vlog series. Talk a little bit about that. When did you guys start doing that? What made you guys do that? And has it been successful?
They've been really successful. And our first vlogs, you guys call them vlogs, actually started out with what's new at TW, where it was just me in the warehouse, just introducing a new product. And that's all it really was.
Yeah.
But then we wanted to kind of expand on that and bring some educational and on the water stuff too, and that's kind of evolved to what it is now. And the vlogs are always still kind of changing and developing and turning into new stuff. But They do really well. The what's new stuff does really well. The guys back there, but just the videos in general are just. I mean, like we talk how print's kind of dead. Video is what print was.
Right.
So it's what people want.
Content.
Content.
Video content.
Yep.
Yeah.
What can I ask you a question about? I don't know if you can even know this, but I'm curious. What is the best selling lure best selling thing in Tackle Warehouse?
Ooh.
Senko.
Is it the Senko?
Gotta be. That's gotta be near the top.
It'd be tough to check, but it probably something like the Senko or a Robo Worm, something that's just a do nothing, very disposable bait that we go through a lot of. I mean, I guess the Senko, but I know it changes month to month exactly what the number one is.
Yeah.
I could probably pull up and get an idea, but it's something like that, soft plastic, something cheap.
Well,
everybody
Thanos,
buys, everybody
you've
owns.
got that glove. You could do anything you want. You got all the crystals. That shit lights up. Holy shit. It scared me. Where was that glove?
No, but the vlogs, I mean, being an online retailer, you don't have the face-to-face interaction with your customer. So these are the things that we kind of do to kind of supplement the business, I guess. And we have a blast doing them. We love coming out here, and you guys are always great hosts, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I got to say, we probably get the most outtakes with you, though.
And the most we probably can't air.
You can't air
publicly.
I definitely know there's some outtakes from the last 3 days.
Particularly from
fun,
today
though.
was good.
Now,
I think the last few days we've caught the most
Oh, for sure.
the most variety number of species out of any vlog.
Wow.
This guy right here. What did you get him on?
wow. So it was a species rampage the last 3 days, and the number one lure that went through, I'm not kidding you, probably 9 to 11 different species. This one bait, Mullick's Trago Vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Mullet just doing damage, dude, from bass to perch to stripers to catfish to pike and everything in between, dude.
Where were stripers at?
Stripers were hybrids. Were up in North Jersey.
Burn.
Okay.
And stripers were today on the Upper Chesapeake Bay.
Nice.
Yeah,
You're
some
throwing
really
a
nice
blade bait
stripes.
today?
Blade bait. Yep, threw it up on Pete's wall
Yeah.
after I fished Pete's Rock. Yeah.
We caught a fish on at every lake on
Pete's
that.
not.
Yeah, yeah. The blade bait's been a key bait. You know, water temperature starts to get cold, it just starts to get effective. You know,
Yeah.
it's a good bait.
It's going to be coming on here in the next couple of weeks.
It's gonna be happening.
We got a cold front coming through. A lot of people get bummed out, but man, the fishing just gets rocking when we start getting a little bit
Get
of fall
that temperature down. I
Yes.
want it. I want
It's
it.
time.
Let me remind everybody, if you're watching, if you have a question or comment for anything you hear in tonight's show, if you've got a question or comment for Corey and Daniel, please hit us up on the IM. By the way, we're going to be giving lots of prizes tonight. So if your question's really, really good, or your comment's really good, we may even throw in a little snack surprise. Yes.
And we have an early winner for the warehouse competition.
Already
We'll
over.
give
Wait,
one more winner.
Do
away
we
at the
have
end of
to start the warehouse if you guys pick the winner?
You might
Yes,
have to.
you have to start the warehouse.
Okay.
And the winner is Epic Eric, and it's going to be a catfish noodling warehouse.
Oh,
All
catfish
supplies you
noodling
need
warehouse.
Catfish noodle.
Wow.
It's going to be a warehouse.
There you go. Wow. What,
I'll get the domain name tomorrow.
The
Tonight.
question is, what do you actually need to catfish noodle? Because I'm pretty sure you just stick your arm in a wall, right? Or you
Yep.
stick your arm in a hole.
Well, there's that noodling. There's that type of noodling. Then
Uh-huh.
there's the noodling where you use pool noodles. Catfishing with pool noodles.
Really?
Have you done that? Do you know that one?
I haven't. I
We
have
did
not.
it at Chris Lane's.
Yeah, first time we saw that was at
Yeah.
Chris Lane, Gunnersville.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun.
It's really fun. If you've got kids, it's really, really fun. Like we've done it up the Schuylkill before. And, you get pool noodles and you cut them into thirds and you just wrap, 10 feet of real heavy monofilament or line on there. You tie it off to the pool noodle. You have a small weight, and a hook on the end, and you put like anything, like hot dog, piece of chicken, it doesn't matter. And you just go and you let like 20 of them out, right? They're all over the place, bright pool noodles. And then you go fish. You just go fish the bridge pilings, or you actually go bass fish or whatever. And then you leave them sit, and then you come back and you start to watch them. Dude, and them cats will eat them, and they'll be taking them around, and it's fun because then you got to catch them. You got to sort of set the hook by hand and pull them up. It's great, dude. It's fun
That
for the
sounds
kids.
fun.
Oh, it's great.
You did it on the Schuylkill?
We did it on the Schuylkill, and it was unbelievable.
Didn't they just get carried away by the current?
They didn't get carried away by the current because
Really?
the current in the Schuylkill doesn't really rip up there. You know, it's a slower creek. So we may have lost a few. I don't remember.
Yeah, we found them all.
We found them all.
Yeah, we did find them all.
Yeah, it's fun.
That
Did
is.
you guys fry them up afterwards?
We didn't fry them up. The Schuylkill River, Philadelphia, is very, very questionable. Too many whitefish in there, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? It's a little scary with all the whitefish. But pool noodles, Pete, what do you think about that?
I love the idea. I think Jake would love it. He
Should
loves
try it.
he loves scavenger hunting. We go scavenger hunting out on the Delaware River, so that would be that'd be a fun thing for us to do.
Would be
Give
fun.
that a try.
Would be fun. Switch gears, guys. What's besides this amazing new operation we heard about opening up in Georgia here? That's very exciting. What's next for Tackle Warehouse? I mean, there's a curve that you've got to stay ahead of. Like I know in our own business, we actively try to stay ahead of the curve because things change all the time. What do you see? What is next for Tackle Warehouse, or what do you see next for online tackle shopping? What's next? What's the next big thing?
Honestly, I don't have the best answer for that. For us, I think we all are always trying to evolve and be ahead of the curve. Lately, I think I've kind of not done the best job of getting ahead of the curve, so we're doing more. We're just new video stuff, new marketing ideas, and trying to most of what we're trying to do is work more with the vendors and work with the customers more and try to just reach out to them, see what they want from us, and also try to work more with the vendors to see what they want to work and try to just be the middleman between like we are between the customers and the vendors and try to just make both sides happy and do what we do. So, but more video stuff coming down the road. We're working on. I know specifics. We're just trying to. We're the last few years have been tossed around a few ideas, and hopefully this next year we'll kind of put some things in motion and get things going.
Yeah, I like it.
What about bait and tackle trends are you seeing? Like,
this year was a huge trend. Was obviously the year of the Ned. I mean, if anyone watched the ICAST videos, Neds were everywhere. Everyone has a Ned bait this year. Some of the guys probably getting sick of all the Ned stuff. There's so much Ned stuff, but they're effective. They're easy for guys to do. Guys that don't fish a lot. Mm-hmm. But this year, the other two things that was huge for us, and as a lot of customers probably know because it's hard to keep in stock, was the Tokyo rig was really taking off.
Wow. Tokyo.
Probably thanks to this guy here.
Thank you.
And the spinnerbait really made a comeback this year.
Wow.
Back to the blade.
We had a lot of big, especially early on, big blade sales. We were selling out of all kinds of blades, and it was a big spinnerbait year.
How about that?
That's good to hear.
That
Well,
is
that's
good to hear.
interesting, you know?
Yeah.
Everybody David Dudley threw out his spinnerbaits when the chatterbait
Because of
came out.
chatterbaits. He just threw them all out.
Threw them all out.
Now he's got to buy them again.
I know. We'll have to buy them again.
Yeah, and David Dudley, if you're watching, we would like that magazine, that special magazine that we know about. We had conversations about. If you're watching right now, send us one or send Daniel Corey a photo of that special magazine.
Signed copy, maybe.
Yeah, we would love to have that for the archive if you're there. Brian Carpenter, we got a special guest, I think, lined up. We're gonna go to phone call. Okay, we're gonna go to a gentleman. Let me call him a gentleman. That's responsible. Pretty much the only reason, Pete, that this show is around right now. Really, really amazing guy in the industry. The reason that Ike Live is here. And a really good friend of ours, a good friend of mine. We've got joining us on the phone, the one and only Mark Jeffries joins us tonight.
Yay, Mark.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Mark, what's up?
Hey, I'm just chilling in a corner of a 24-lane bowling center, getting ready to bowl Wednesday night league.
Wow.
So don't hold that against me.
All right, I won't. Now, we've got the Tackle Warehouse guys here tonight. Do you shop at Bowling Warehouse?
I do not. I didn't even know it existed. Do they have Bowling Warehouse?
Do you have a Bowling Warehouse?
Absolutely.
Well, maybe I need to take a look.
No.
Oh, I don't think they do. I just made that up. I don't know. I thought you did.
Bowling?
Yeah, bowling.
I'll work on that next.
Okay.
It sounds like a new sponsor for Bass Zone.
Balls
Bowling
cost a lot to
warehouse.
ship.
Yeah.
It might be. All right, Mark,
Balls are heavy.
I want to start this call with, as you know, tonight is show 100. This is a big moment for us. It's a big milestone. And the first thing I want to say is thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Not only for helping create this, setting it up, I mean, everything from the nuts and bolts, the theory, all of it. Thank you for that. But more importantly, thank you for pushing us to do that, because I'm going to let you tell the story, but there was a time when Becky and I were reluctant to give in to video podcasting.
Yeah, how many years ago was that, Mike?
Well, I got to say, it's got to be 6 years. Yeah, at least.
It was 6 or 7 years ago, and it was weird. I had been doing BTL. We had done BTL on Sirius XM. It was XM back in the day, and then when the merger happened, I decided to make the move to just all internet-based stuff, and it continued to grow a little bit. And I thought, how many people in the industry, how many anglers would be able to host their own show? And there was just one that came to mind, and that's when I picked up the phone and I called you and Becky and I said, "Hey, man, I got this cool idea. What do you think about it?" And you guys were kind of like, I don't know, Mark. I don't really, no, not right now. And then what was cool is, a little bit time later, I got the phone call. "Hey, Mark, what's happening? You know that idea that you had? All right, man, we're interested. Tell me more." And look at you guys now, man. You got that badass studio. You look at all the progress that you and Pete and Brian and everybody else that's involved with the show. Just a tremendous effort, and I really meant it when I said there was one guy that could really pull it off and turn it into what you guys have turned it into. And it's due to a lot of work and a lot of dedication and a lot of passion in being involved with this live studio show. And got to say, man, I'm glad you took the bait. I'm glad I got you.
I'd say we are too. And, the thing is Becky and I talk about this all the time. This fishing business, the industry, there's so many different arms and avenues to it. And I got to honestly tell you that Ike Live is one of the funnest things that we do. We have fun in a lot of the other angles, but this show does not feel like work whatsoever. For Brian, it does when shit's not happening right, which is every show. But for the rest of us, this really is fun, and I want to thank you for that, man. We have a good time.
I hope when that day comes, and who knows when that is, it might be 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 2 years from now. When that day comes where you decide to stop tournament fishing, I think this is an avenue that the Ike and Ellie brand and the Ike brand is going to continue and have a full force presence in this game that we love, which is professional fishing. And no matter whether you're on the lake or doing what you do, for all the fans out there, I think this is a platform that everybody's going to continue to appreciate. And you guys rock, man. You hit it out of the park. You do a great job. And Brian has actually progressed. Michael.
Yes.
That was like the nicest compliment he ever paid you, Brian.
Yes.
I know.
Ever.
Wow.
I know. But you guys, great stuff. And thanks for just having me on 5 minutes. I got to mention this real quick since I'm sitting in the corner and everybody's like looking at me because the league's getting ready to start. But, I made my 32-year PBA comeback 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
I bowled in my first PBA senior tournament because I'm an old man. And it was my first PBA tournament in 32 years. And ended up making the cut, and I finished in 15th. And it was pretty cool. Now, I got a quick story. Because I made the cut, it was a 2-day event, and I bowled the very next day. Now, we're in Waxahachie, Texas.
Oh.
Any idea where that is?
Oh.
Run.
No.
Yeah, exactly. It's out in the middle of freaking nowhere, but very, very nice people. So I'm bowling the Pro-Am, and it's a 3-game Pro-Am where you're bowling with, people that have paid to bowl with the pros and all this and everything. And the very first game, I turn around and I look, and this guy is like staring at me. Just staring at me, flat out staring me down. Not a mean stare, just a like, who is that guy? And then he's got the balls to walk up to me and he goes, "Are you the Mark Jeffries on BTL?" And I go, Yeah. He goes, forget about bowling. I want to talk about bass fishing. So I sat there that entire game and talked about bass fishing and talked about the show and talked about so many things. So that was pretty cool in the middle of nowhere, my first cut in 32 years. And I end up talking to a dude from Waxahachie, Texas about bass fishing.
Wow. I love it. I love it. Now, I know you've got something going on, but I do have two quick questions for you. Bass Talk Live, it's amazing. It's a great show. Really, I can't stop watching it. What's next, Mark? Because you've been an innovator in this sport from day one. I mean, going back to the Bass days when you started broadcasting live at Bassmaster events.
Yeah.
You've been an innovator, and it seems like every year you've got something new up your sleeve. You want to fill us in? What do you got cooking?
Here's what I got. I can't really talk about it right now, but what I can do is I can throw a tease out there. You know, 3 years ago we launched the one-on-one live, where it was, you know, mano a mano, guys use their own boats. We sent the feed back to our studio. That was enormously successful, but it had something missing. And in 2020, we are going to add something to that has never been done in any kind of competitive fishing ever.
Chicks?
How about that?
Hot chicks netting the fish?
No, that's not it. That's not it. And then, you know, I'm gonna throw something out there. I get hammered on this all the time, guys. I have been enormously just pressured into next year bringing back something that we started 8 years ago. It's not innovative, but it's something that guys have said that are out on tour. It was the most fun event that they have ever taken part in. And I'm working right now with a casino in Oklahoma to actually bring back the Fish and Chips event that took place 10 years ago. So that's really working hard in 2020 to bring back. And, you know, scheduling is a big thing, and the time of the year is a big thing. So, guys, if I can make that happen, I'm going to make a lot of people happy.
Mark, let me tell you, I'm going to tell you right now, and Becky, write this in our calendar. If you bring back the Fish and Chips, I've never fished one. I apologize for that, but if you bring it back, I will be there. Yes, I will. Mark it down, Beck.
That's a cool deal. And like I said, I have to work around everybody's schedule. So unless, you know, there's something out of the ordinary you got going on, it should be an open date, Mike.
I love it. All right, Mark, one last question, and we're going to let you run. We know you've got things going over there.
Got balls.
You got balls going on over there.
Balls to roll.
I got bowling balls going on.
Give me, and this is going to be hard, but in a concise way, give me your thoughts on where we're at currently in the professional realm of fishing. We've got BASS, we've got MLF/FLW, and now we have a new league in the horizon that we'll be talking to tonight. Where the hell are we at in this crazy times right now of the sport?
You know, I have this term that some people use when situations have developed like this. It's called organized chaos. I think from a sponsorship standpoint, from an industry standpoint, it is very, very challenging right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, the more piece of the pie with this new thing coming out that potentially, I'm not saying it's gonna, but potentially could even reduce the pie more, I just don't know. I think that there are situations out there that could be really, really good for the anglers. All right? Anytime you have options, it is good for the anglers. But at the same time, it becomes much, much more competitive to get those sponsorship dollars. And I think that is the big, big, big challenge. The other thing is, I'm going to throw a name out there. Klitschko. Ever heard that name?
Boxer.
The boxer.
No, not that guy.
No.
The astronaut.
Vladimir.
The astronaut.
No. He is the guy that was hired from NBC Sports by Major League Fishing. And what they did is they kind of hired him to bring over his Rolodex and all his contacts that he has for all the stuff that he did at NBC Sports.
Yeah, how's that working out?
Dude, I haven't seen anything yet, and the dude's got a massive Rolodex. So I've said this all along. I think it is imperative. It is vital to the financial success of that organization. They have to get the non-endemic dollars from those companies, and we just haven't seen it yet. Sure, there's been small companies, but dude, I'm telling you, it costs a lot of money to do what you guys are doing in Major League Fishing, and I think 2020 is going to be a massive year for Major League Fishing from a revenue standpoint. The options, hey, they're out there now. The buyout of FLW and the options for the anglers, that's a good thing. They do have options, but at the same time, I'm hoping that some of the anglers don't feel slighted and think, well, I'm not a AAA angler. Why am I fishing AAA?
Right.
At the same time, kind of look at it. I know it's hard to believe, Pete, but I'm actually looking at this as a glass half full and say, you know what? I've got an opportunity. All right. I've done it for so many years. Everybody knows that I was a stud on the FLW tour. Now things have changed, and now I need to continue to prove how much of a superstar I am to where I get in one of those 10 spots. So opportunity is there. Options are there. Guys have choices to make. And, as long as the economy stays well and the sponsorship money's there, it's going to be good for everybody. But, man, if unemployment goes up, if the unemployment rate goes up and disposable income goes away, we are in for some rough and very challenging times. So that's all I got to say about it, man.
Well,
Hope that's not too much.
No,
You said a lot.
That was good. It's a good look at what's going on right now. And I think, Mark, in the next segment, we're going to have some more answers on what this new league's all about.
Sure are.
And see if it'll help or hurt
Mr. Benson.
things. So.
Hey, we're going to try and have him on BTL, and I know he's going to go on Straycast too. And I don't know if he'll want to come on our show after you guys and Straycast, but if we don't get that opportunity, ask him one question for me.
Okay.
Can I get just one question? Ask him why to fish professional tournaments, at least so-called professional tournaments, do you have to sign a contract?
Yeah.
Ask him that one question. I just don't get it. In some cases I do, but
Yeah.
with this being the working class guy, I don't understand why people have to be committed to fish.
Right.
So
Right.
we'll see.
Okay.
Makes
All right.
sense? Is that a fair question?
That is a fair question.
Fair.
We're going to ask it. All right. And Mark, before we let you go, I did want to leave you with one last thing. I don't know if you knew this or not. I don't know if Beck sent you a picture. But we're very proud of this new studio, and we're very proud of our friendship. And we have a picture of you, Mark, hanging on the mantle over the fireplace. So
That is awesome. That antique vintage picture that was from the old studio.
that's right. That's you.
Yes, sir.
That is
gotta
you.
Send me a picture of that. In fact, here's what I want you to do, Ike. For everybody that's in the studio today, please take a group shot in front of the picture and send it to me. Will you do that?
We'll
Yeah.
do it. We'll do it.
All right. Hey, man, congratulations on your 100th show. Pete, thanks, man. Thanks for the friendship. Brian, hey, keep rocking, keep learning. Becky, you guys are the best. And everybody else, man, best of luck to you, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, we'll talk to you. Mark Jeffries,
All right, bye,
everybody.
Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Mark.
Have a good bowl. Go play with your balls.
Hey, you know what would be so cool? You know how MLF got this Venmo deal?
Yes.
Why don't they Venmo us our money when the tournament's over?
They should. And that way, if they fine us, they'd have a harder time getting it from us. They couldn't just take it out like they've been taking it out.
I could just consistently send them Venmo invoices every hour on the hour.
Yes.
They can Venmo you invoices for all your fines. too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could do that too. I like it. All right, Brian Carpenter, we're going to take a little break here in a couple minutes. Yeah. We're going to take a break. I want to thank everybody for watching. Keep watching because the show is good, but it keeps getting better. In the next segment, we're going to be talking about the National Professional Fishing League. We're going to have Al and Paul on Skype going over it, talking a little bit about why and what they're trying to do. And then in the third segment tonight, we've got the one and only Mark Zona, a.k.a. Z, joining us. Keep watching. I want to remind you we're giving away prizes all night. If you're watching over on Facebook, like and share it. Your name will be entered in a contest, and you'll be entered in a contest to win the Ike Live gift bag. Pete, what do you think about that?
I have never gotten an Ike Live gift bag.
What?
I think I would like to win one
All
of
right,
those.
we'll get Miss Janet to take care of that. Keep on watching. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. Ike Live.
It's like, you good, man? You know we're doing a video right now, right? I'm about to go down there and tackle that dude. Hey! Hey there, official world. What's shaking, Fat Cat Newton coming at you. Listen, let's talk about something very important. And I'm not talking about Jack and Jaws Ripping Lips 2455 and Big Belly Kelly out of a brush pile. I found Primal Urge Foods. Ladies and gentlemen, what Primal Urge Foods is, it is a monthly meat stick box. Every month you get a box of meat sticks to your door. Retail is probably, I don't know, $30, $40, $14.95 a month. Now you can pick many different varieties. You can pick a surprise box. You get a little bit of this, you get a little bit of that. You get some 24.55 and 5 No, we don't like antibiotics. No antibiotics. And these right here, completely eagle free. Now the gas stations meat sticks you buy probably have eagle in them. They have rhinoceros in them. But we are Americans. America! We're not eating bald eagles in our meat sticks. Guaranteed, none of these meat sticks have bald eagle in them. That's the #1 reason to buy these meat sticks. You want to get granddaddy a gift? Hey, you're dating a girl. Ooh, she fine as muscadine wine. And you want to warm up her hair. I'm getting excited talking about women. I forget what it's. Primal Urge, $14.95 a month. Monthly meat box subscription. It could be called a bombs box of meat sticks. You just do like I do, and every month the box shows up, and I don't know what's going to be in it, but they're all delicious. The meat right there. I tell you what, that's something good right there. It's girthy. It's Fat Cat Newton, Primal Urge Foods. Please, Ike Live is the code, guys. Ike Live. Ike Live is the code. Okay. Primal Urge Foods. Ike Live is the code. It gets you $5 off a box. Okay.
4.5-inch drop shot worm, Bama bug. Finesse jig, PB&J, give me something hard. Hey, KVD here. Now I didn't always know this much about fishing. It's a 4-aught EWG worm hook. In fact, there was a time when I couldn't tell the difference between a jerkbait and a stickbait. But then I signed up for Mystery Tackle Box, the original monthly tackle subscription. And now I know more about fishing than I do about calculus.
And he knows a lot about calculus.
Plus, I get amazing extras like free fishing magazines. October 2016. Featured article, 4 places to throw a frog. Exclusive decals. Zombie bass. And how-to videos for all the great baits I receive. How to tune a crankbait. Is that underwater footage I smell?
I got goosebumps.
So if you're looking to develop enhanced fishing abilities like me, or you just like getting new tackle every month, go to mysterytacklebox.com and get your box today. Ooh, live minnows. Is it lunchtime already? Nature's candy. Oh. Is he in my pocket?
Hey everybody, Mike Iconelli here. I love fishing this time of the year. It's cold, it's winter, it's snowing. But if you want to prevent the buildup of ice, use Real Snot. Every time I'm fishing this time of the year, I put a couple squirts on all my guides, especially the tip, before I start casting. Try that tip when you're fishing under these cold conditions, and you're going to catch more fish. See you later.
There's a special place in our hearts for the tools of the trade. They're what we prep for a good day on the water. They're what we clean after a good day in the field. Flambeau's patented Z-Rust technology protects the gear of today from rust and corrosion. Z-Rust for the performance of tomorrow. Preserve, perform, repeat.
You work hard to catch your fish. TH Marine has 2 products to ensure your fish survive. The Oxygenator injects 100% pure oxygen into your live well. That increases fish survival by 35%. For the perfect combo, add G-Juice Live Well treatment. It calms fish, stops bleeding, removes ammonia, and replaces slime coat. Get an oxygenator and G-Juice and keep your fish alive.
Like, you good, man?
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Ike Live. I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. I know we are. You're watching a special episode. This is actually show 100, Pete. Show 100.
Can't believe it.
It's been amazing.
Yeah.
Beck, does it feel like it's been 100 shows? That's a big number.
That seems like a very big number.
It seems like a big number.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you, Brian the Carpenter, in the grand scheme of podcasting.
How comfortable are you on a grand scheme right now?
On the grand scheme of podcasting, that's probably not a lot, right? If you look at somebody like a Rogan or
yeah, he's on like 1,300.
He's on 1,300, right? It's not a lot, but I feel very proud of 100 shows.
That's good.
Feel very proud, Pete.
I think you should. I mean, we didn't know. I certainly didn't know what the heck you were getting me into 7 years ago, and you know, it's gotten a lot better. You know, as a group, as a team, we talk a lot better. I remember talking over each other.
We were awful in the beginning.
Early, we would just step right all over the dialogue.
Yeah,
and not let everybody say their piece. And we've gotten better, entertaining some amazing moments over the last 7 years.
A lot of amazing moments. I got to tell you, here's the thing, and I want to make sure that I tell this story, is that a lot in the last 4 or 5 years, I'll be at a tournament, I'll be at a fishing show, be wherever. I'll be somewhere out, and I have a fan come up and they say, "Oh man, Mike, I love the show.
Yep.
I love the show." And in my mind, right, I'm thinking, oh, they liked Fish My City, or they liked the old City Limits Fishing. They liked one of the TV shows. And then they start talking more, and they're like, oh, man, that Dave is so funny. Oh, Pete, he's so, you know. And I'm like, he's talking about Ike Live.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's like totally, you've seen that happen a lot. It's crazy how many people relate to the show. Why is that, Beck? Why do people relate to the show so much?
Well, because I think they get
It's not very good.
It's not. They get to see us, I think, like in our natural state. You know, like we just talk like we talk to each other. So I imagine they probably feel like they're like just sitting in the room with us. Like we're just all hanging out. This is how we shoot the shit. Like we tease each other like this in person. I mean, this is just the way we are.
Yeah.
Everyone's fair game.
Yep.
Yeah.
People connect with it, and it's amazing. Like I remember I was talking with one guy, and he would measure the distance to the tournament by how many episodes of Ike Live he could listen to. You know?
Yeah.
If he could get 3 episodes in before he got to the boat ramp, it was a long drive.
Yeah.
Wow.
People,
yeah, that's a really long drive because our shows
4 hours.
are forever.
Forever. They're forever.
Here's a trivia question for you. Who is the only person who's been on, this is their actual 100th show?
Wow.
Is it Brian?
Round of applause.
The one and only.
I'm good at the trivia.
What?
Dude, this is
how is that true?
It is true.
Think about it.
It is true. So this is 100 shows.
Right.
It's actually my 100th show.
It's your 100th show, but I for sure haven't been on every show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I've Skyped
So basically, it's Brian Live. We just schedule him whenever Brian's available.
Carpenter Live.
Yeah, that's right.
Carpenter Live.
Cheers, everybody.
Wow.
I also like that Brian hates the costumes as much as he does.
I'm really bad at costumes.
You hate the costumes?
Nah, I don't hate them.
Oh, they're fun. This is a fun part of the
Yeah,
show.
but I
to
always
me.
look stupid.
Okay, but let's be honest.
But not
Let's
tonight.
be honest why
Not
this
tonight, though.
happens. Like you're the guy who 2 days ago was like, "Oh, I didn't get a costume. What am I gonna do?" And I tried to Amazon you one.
I'm just not good at it.
Yeah.
You know.
I was on your side, Brian, like early on the costumes, like because this was all new to me. I'm like, we're doing what? We're going live, and the pressure, and I didn't know what we were. I'm like, what are we supposed to be talking about? Like, we're just making this stuff up as we go along, and I felt a lot of pressure, and then Becky's giving me a turkey costume to wear and a pilgrim
Pete
and
turkey.
Yeah, but it just lightens the mood. You know what I mean? Like if you're dressed like a turkey, it doesn't really matter what you say
That's
now.
right.
It's true. And but it was so at first it threw me for a loop, but I've kind of embraced it, and it's a lot of fun.
I like it. I'm glad you embraced it. All right, now Daniel and Corey, I want to call you to play on this, and I know you guys have watched shows in the past. Is there one show that sticks out for you guys that you look back and say that was the best show, or that was the worst show, or what show stands out to you in the chronicles of Ike Live?
I think this is the best show.
Wow, this is the best tonight. I agree. Hold on, round of applause.
No, but hold on. Corey embraces the dressing up.
You
like
do.
when we
And I
first
like
mentioned that you might have to dress up, all of a sudden there were 6 to 10 Amazon packages.
He likes cosplay.
That's awesome.
Man, you are not alone. I was shopping for the costume for Ego, and I'm like thinking to myself, all right, he's the only guy that doesn't have makeup. He just has hair and a beard. Like, it's going to cost me like $5. And they got $250 Ego outfits.
Wait, what would the costume be?
It's all about the robes and the leather jacket pieces.
Yeah.
All the cosplay people, they want the details.
Yeah, leather, baby, leather.
And they get these custom.
So wait, what's cosplay? Like that's a costume.
People do this all the time. Yeah.
So it's like just people into
Yeah.
costumes.
You've been
They're professional cosplayers. I mean, they get paid. They have YouTube channels. That Instagram, same stuff you guys all do.
Yep.
Cosplay. It's pretty crazy.
I looked up on sites and they custom make your costume. You like the measurements of your arm, your chest, your waist, your hips, because they want to get it. They want to fit you just perfect. So
I
they
saw
custom build them.
that. I could have done that
Yeah.
for mine. Instead, I just got the jacket and the wig because I owned the rest
That's not
of
your
my,
real hair?
my leather. You know, so
That's not your real hair?
I grew it out and dyed it just.
But
for
that's your
this.
real skin color, though.
Yep. Yeah. I just took my makeup off.
Nicely done.
The message board loves the costumes, by the way, and they said that Brian looks like a black and blue Senko. The Wawa Hoagie lady.
Yes.
The Wawa Hoagie lady also said that Brian pretty much just hates everything.
Wawa Hoagie. Shout out to Wawa Hoagie lady.
Oh,
We
man.
love our Wawa Hoagie
Is
lady.
Pete taking Brian home tonight then?
Maybe.
Wait, so has Wawa Hoagie Lady also been a part of 100 shows?
May have been.
Close.
Gotta be close.
Right?
We got there's a few people on the message board that have been around for a long. I mean, way before I was on the show and just on the message board too. I've been seeing these people, so there's a lot of people that have been with you guys for a long time.
I wonder what everyone else's favorite shows are.
Well, I don't know, but I do want to ask Riz, what was your favorite show? I know you watched them before you got into the crew here. Do you have one that stands out that you look back on and say that was an awesome show?
Yeah, I would have to say the first time that Seth was in town, because that's like one of the first times that me and Brian ever actually really hung out.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that was cool. And then the episode before the first Ike Foundation tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, you signed Wayne's forehead that night. Yes. So those two episodes really stand out.
The 8-hour show. You enjoyed the 8-hour show?
Yeah.
That was a marathon
Actually,
show.
Even the year after that, before the Ike Foundation tournament the next year, when you were drinking Bud Light, that was a great one too.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
that was good. And let me mention real quick, Brian the Carpenter. We have a character standing behind you that's here tonight from a galaxy far, far away.
That's right.
Who is that?
Intern Scarecrow.
Intern Scarecrow,
aka Groot.
I am Groot with us tonight. Maybe the best costume of all tonight. Look at that. Very in character, too. As well.
Probably the most fitting. Him and Pete naturally fit their costumes.
They do.
Like Pete's just wearing a gray T-shirt or
Yeah.
sweatshirt and slicked his hair back. And
It's Carhartt.
I got a pirate belt.
And Pete got that shirt free at a bass tournament.
I thought it was like a European handbag, male's purse.
Man bag. Mine is.
Mike has one of
I have
those.
one on.
Hey,
Yeah.
on the favorite show front, maybe not favorite show, But favorite part of the show was the after hours. My favorite part of the whole show.
Oh,
I want to bring back the after hours.
All right, Miss Becky. Miss Beck,
We're not bringing back
tonight.
the damage control. I would have to do the next day was horrific. We're not bringing that back. There was no self control.
Yeah, but 90%.
So I'm going to change the subject. You know who I'm really missing? Dave.
Yeah.
Dave,
Where is Dave?
I love Dave in a costume. I
Yeah.
love Dave in his comments.
Yes.
I am missing Dave tonight.
I'm missing Dave
He
tonight,
is
too.
the bomb at Halloween
He is the
episodes.
bomb. All right, there is a possibility that we might have a Dave.
We'll call him.
Call tonight.
We got to call
Okay.
him. Yeah.
I hope we do. I really want to talk to Dave.
He's missed.
Let's get to our
Mike, the Wawa
juice.
hoagie lady was actually on the flats today.
Wow.
Well, he said he saw you pass him at about 200 miles per hour.
Oh, that may be true.
I like how the Wawa hoagie lady, he was on the flats
Yeah.
today.
Oh,
I feel like this is one of these.
Yeah.
He?
The Wawa hoagie lady.
He,
Black
his,
and red boat?
He, his, him.
He may be
Sparkleberry
him.
Bass Cat.
Maybe a him, maybe a her.
Sparkleberry blue.
Yeah.
What kind of restroom does they use?
We don't know.
Whichever one they choose.
We don't know what
What
kind of
day of the
restroom
week.
they use.
No
You're allowed to do.
identification.
You can choose any bathroom
Yeah.
now.
That's right.
What was your favorite episode, Mike?
I don't know. I had a lot of them. I'd say
Post River win.
that was a good one.
That was a tough one.
That was a
We were
tough one.
wiped out.
I was wiped. I think my favorite show was the announcement to the announcement to the announcement to the announcement to the announcement show, where we kept people on the edge of their chair for well over 3 hours for the big announcement, and we had technical difficulties. I just don't know what happened that
No, it
night.
was like 5 hours.
It was
We
a
had
5-hour
MLS,
show.
It was a
MLF
long
and
show.
FLW on.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite.
and then
I
our
think.
feed got dropped.
And our feed got dropped somehow.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
how that happened, but man, there's been so many good ones. There's been some bad ones, and even those were memorable. You know, the Jim Miller show. We had the Miller brothers in. Great show.
That was awesome.
Our special ops
Yeah,
show.
Spec Ops guys.
Unbelievable
Swindle
show.
was amazing.
Swindle.
In the red jumpsuit.
Swindle in full jumpsuit.
Yeah, he was weighing
Amazing.
in his fish that night. If there was a weigh-in, he was bringing.
Oh,
his
he's
fish to the
bringing them
scales.
in. He's bringing them in.
One of my favorites was the Lee brothers.
Lee brothers, yeah.
When we had them busting each other's chops.
That was a good
on,
one.
on the sofa, and
That was actually Dave as Matt Lee.
was that what that was?
Yeah. With
Oh, I thought it was Matt.
The
What's
helium
in that
balloon.
coffee
That
cup?
was Jordan on Skype and Dave with a helium balloon as Matt Lee.
He was so good that Pete actually thought it was
Remember, it
Matt.
was a funny thing.
We had him in studio. We had Jordan in studio.
Yes.
Wasn't Matt there with him, or was he Skyping?
No, it's,
No, we did.
No,
we
he
had them
was
both.
in
We did have them both on via Skype
we
before.
did when
That
they were
is
still
true.
college anchors.
Yeah,
When
when
they
they
were
were.
still college.
They
From
were.
bunk beds. They
Yeah.
stopped us from bunk beds.
Yeah, yeah. Before Jordan started dominating the world.
Well, I just
winning
remember.
classics.
I just remember Jordan being there and interviewing him, and him just being so cool and relaxed.
Oh yeah.
Like.
Well, wait. When he was
There was-
physically there was the
Yeah.
pro-am, so that was
He was at the
before
Pro-Am.
he'd won.
Yeah.
That was before he'd had his wins.
Is it?
Yeah, our first pro-am when he was there, because he was at the first pro-am.
Wow.
So
So we had a young Jordan Lee.
we had a young Jordan Lee twice, because college and then pre-classic wins,
Wow.
and then Skype after, and that's when Dave did the Matt Lee.
Did you realize your eye color matches your skin color?
It's creepy.
Wow, that's awesome. Green eyes and green skin.
Yep.
It's pretty
Yeah,
hot.
that last episode, I think Matt is still mad about.
I know.
Most likely. There's a lot of people still mad at us.
Yeah.
We're assholes. I'm
there's,
sorry.
There's been a ton of shows, and once again, everybody watching tonight, all the fans and viewers of Ike Live, thank you. Here at 100 in, we want to thank you for watching, for supporting the show. You make it possible, and we keep it simple. We talk fishing and drink beer, and thank you for supporting this show. We really appreciate it. All right, Brian Carpenter, I think you want to keep going here, don't you? I saw a little hand signal. What do you got?
Do I have to sit on the
Cool.
pillow?
Okay. Yeah, you have to sit on the pillow. You have
Do
to
you
be
need
high.
me that high?
We need you high. We need you as tall as you can get, please.
It's not comfortable.
All right, so we're going to keep the show going, and I know a lot of you watching and listening. This is a big moment for you. You waited for this portion of the show, and I'm excited because just like you, if you're listening and watching, this is all new to you too. So this is going to be a great opportunity to learn a lot, Pete, about a really big announcement that we all saw via social media, via the press releases that came out on every fishing website about the National Professional Fishing League launching a new circuit. And it's, you know, in today's age of fishing with everything else going on, this is a big deal. This is a big announcement. This isn't some little pickup league we're talking about with 20 boats in South Jersey. This is a full-scale national league, you know, that's going to solicit professional anglers to fish in its tour. So I'm super, super excited to hear about it. And I'm excited to say that we're probably one of the first bigger podcasts to have these guys on to talk about it. We've got Al and Paul joining us right now on Skype to talk about the National Professional Fishing League. How you doing, guys?
Awesome. It's an honor and privilege to be here.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. We saw the news the last few days, and we all were caught off guard, excited, all at the same time, I'd say. What? Right before we talk about anything, what has been the reception that you guys have received? Have you? I'm sure your phones and emails have been really just gone crazy in the last 48 hours. Has it been nuts? And what's the reception you're receiving to this release, this news?
Go ahead, Paulie. On my home front, I have seen a very polarized reception. The text calls, everybody reaching out to me personally from my network, I want to thank, because it's all been good stuff. And I'm really appreciative of the support that we get from an industry that you know, it's a competitive industry that we're in. So on the personal side, it's been very receptive. I got great partners and people that we've surrounded ourselves with, so that's a good thing. On the internet, like anything, I feel like I hate to give a percentage, but we have a percentage of folks that you know, think it's diluting the market, think that you know, we're not doing what's in the best interest of the industry. And you know, our goal is to make the industry, help grow the industry, help make the industry better. We're not competing with anyone, you know, in today's current state, nor do we want to.
Yeah. I'm all for anything that advances the sport of fishing or the sport of professional fishing. I'm for. I can tell you that, and anything that grows the sport. I want that, Pete. I want things that grow the sport. Let me shoot straight to my first big question. I know Pete and I'm sure Becky and a lot of the guys in the room tonight have questions, but I want to stick to my first one, and it's real simple. It's a one-word question. Why? Why start the National Professional Fishing League? Why?
You know, basically, Mike, the reason that I got together with Brad and Michelle and with bringing this out, it's a $5,000 entry, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Look, there's a lot of different avenues for anglers out there of all different skill levels to invest their money and go out and win, you know, different prize money, whether they can make it to the elites, whether they can make it to Major League Fishing, FLW Pro Circuit, they want to fish the Costas. Here we're just giving them another platform. It's going to be real intimate at 125 invites, and we really think, based on the feedback we've gotten just in the last 2 days, that this thing is really going to be something to go in 2021.
If I can add to what Alan's saying, Mike, I'm gonna be a little bold here, and I'm gonna say that we're doing it because of you. because of guys like Gerald Swindle, because of guys like John Cruz, Chris Aldane, Brandon Palanack, all these people who preceded these tournament anglers who at one point in time lit a fire in some kid that is undeniably strong and passionate, and he wants to reach the top level tier of bass fishing. That hopefully this is a trail that he can come fish for a couple of years, make a pile of money, and then go chase his dream on the classic stage. If we can be a stepping stone to put people in your shoes, eventually when the time is right, and help them to facilitate the cash flow to be able to do that, then our job's done.
Yeah, and again, I want to reiterate, I love it. If that's the reason, and this new league will help get more people involved in the sport on a professional level, I'm all for it. I think it's great. The timing of this is interesting. With the state of the sport right now, with sort of everything that's happened in the last 12 plus months, the timing is interesting. Was this created at all in response to MLF and in particular the recent purchase of FLW? Was this a response to that?
Well, the genesis of this thing started about 3 years ago. I put the business plan together, kind of shelved it, just got busy with a lot of things as far as my trucking career goes, working with the Big Bass Bash and Anglers in Action. And then when everything started brewing up about 4 or 5 weeks ago about Major League Fishing, the Bass Pro Tour, and FLW, then you kind of saw what the format was going to go to. This was perfect timing, in my opinion, and talking with Paul and Brad and Michelle, that, hey, let's put this out there. This is what I've got together already. Let's get everything together, put it out there. We did a lot of research leading up to the release of this on Monday. We just didn't throw our hats out there and basically say, look, we're just putting out this press release and all this stuff. We thought about this meticulously. We had a lot of conversations with a lot of pro anglers from different circuits. We got a lot of feedback. We want to put the best platform out there for those anglers that will get them to where they want as far as their professional bass fishing dreams go. So to answer your question, I would say it's 50-50. I've always had a passion. I wanted to do this. Optically and logistically, I know what I need to do there. But that purchase there kind of pushed us over the edge and said, let's do it.
Gotcha.
Well, I mean, I can feel your enthusiasm. I think it's amazing. And Paul, I really like what you've done with your hair. It looks amazing.
Well, Pete, there's a little contest. Whoever can guess my costume, my Halloween costume, first gets a free Bass University hat.
Wow.
Which looked good on you, by the way. Like, what is his costume?
I would say, I don't know.
80s Pete?
I think it's Paulette. It's not Paul, it's Paulette.
80s Pete.
80s Pete. That's a good guess.
80s Pete. Sweet.
Is it true that each entry in the tournament trail will receive a full set of cast and fishing rods?
Easy.
We're working on the math on that one. But I think we're doing it the opposite way. If you buy somewhere in the neighborhood of 10,000 casting rods, you might get a free entry. So we're going to switch that around.
Well, I tell you, from the pro angler perspective, one of the big things is exposure, and fishing with the MLF and the Bass Pro Tour, the Bassmasters. The deal is exposure for your sponsors and their products. What are the plans for this trail? Are you going to be on a network? Are you going to be live on social? What are your plans in that area?
We have discussed the foundation for live streaming every tournament. Since the announcement, we've had numerous network outlets contact us. We're not going to be geared in the same methodology. We are not creating something for network television to make a TV show. If it pans out and the network TV works within the business plan, but the goal is truly to create an environment that is best for the angler and their families, and that's the first priority. Everything else will will kind of not materialize, but everything else will holistically work together to come to fruition. We've had I've had 2 calls for network affiliation, that will cover us, that will be more than suitable, good stand-up companies that we would be proud to be partnered with. But we're not in it to make a television show. We are gonna live stream. We are gonna put as much coverage as we can out there. Hopefully, technology continues to grow, and the cost of technology continues to evolve to where it's affordable to put it in 125 boats.
Well, that's I think that's the right direction. Certainly, exposure is going to be key. I'm going to ask a tough question. MLF has dropped entry fees. I heard Bassmaster talk of lowering entry fees. I read where your entry fees are $5,000 for this trail, I guess, in the first year. How did you establish that? And that's a pretty heavy entry fee for a lot of guys.
Absolutely. I mean, it's definitely an investment there as far as that entry fee goes for those 6 events. If you look at the numbers, we've got on that press release an 80-20 payback to those anglers. We're going to give away $500,000 at each event. That individual at that 1 and 3 pay on those anglers at 44th position is going to make $9,000. So if you take that entry fee for $5,000, just say at the high end, your expenses are $2,000 for that week, because basically we're looking from Sunday to Saturday for practice, media day, meeting, and then 3 days of the tournament. That individual at the high end on the expenses is still going to make $2,000. Now, I went out and probably surveyed about close to 60 or 65 anglers currently on the different circuits, and I put a myriad of payouts as far as spreadsheets goes, and I've got a list of them. I'm tired of seeing the Excel spreadsheets on my computer, I'll tell you that right now. But believe it or not, when we put up there the $100,000, and then you got down to that 1 and 3 boat payout area, and it was about $7,000, or you went from 50,000 to 30, 20, 15, and then that 44th place was 9,000. I'm not going to shit you guys. 98% of the guys chose that 50 to 9,000. Not one guy chose that $100,000 payback, because simply it was all about trying to make money at these tournaments where it was so top heavy that a lot of guys, if you didn't shoot the moon and you still went out there and whatever it was 1 and 3 boats, you ended up losing money. By the time all expenses were paid, your entry fee and all that stuff, you were basically in the red by $1,000 or $2,000. So we went to the anglers, asked what they wanted, and yeah, the entry fee, to answer your question, is high, but there's $500,000 on the line right there, and you go from 50 to 30,000 to 20,000 to 15 to 14. That's a pretty good top 5 right there.
The other fact is the truncated schedule. You're looking at 30,000 on 6 tournaments. We have a lot of people questioning the number of tournaments, but the reason we're going with a minimum 6 tournaments in everybody's opinion compared to everybody else is to save time on the road. These anglers, the crowd that we're going for has they have 2 hurdles. Either they don't have enough money or they don't have enough time. Going with a truncated schedule kind of meets in the middle to cover both of those, to where the overall dollar number is a little bit less, annually, and then the amount of time off fishing is reduced as well.
Well, I appreciate that, and the next question I have for you guys is, where am I going fishing? Or is it can we have the first 3 tournaments on the Delaware River and the Upper Chesapeake Bay?
Pete wants a discounted rate because you're wearing the Bass University hat.
We're taking sponsorships right now. All you got to do is call Paul Benson up. He'll work it out with you as a deal as far as hosting that event. Absolutely. As far as the schedule goes, look, this is going to be coast to coast. It's the National Professional Fishing League. The way that we set it up in the press release, and we talked about this, like I said, a lot of hours. We're going to do 2 spring events, we're going to do 2 summer events, and we're going to do 2 fall events. Number one, what that does, it helps it spread that time out for those anglers that if they do have a business or they do have a job, which 90%, 95% of these guys do, they also have families. This is going to give them enough time where it's not so spring heavy and they got to take all that time off from work or their business or away from their family. The other thing too is we really believe that the market out west is begging for us to come out there, whether it's Clear Lake, it's Meade, it's Havasu, whatever it might be. Now, the one thing that we're going to do, and we keep in mind as far as scheduling goes and where we go, look, all lakes are open. We're going to be putting that schedule out probably mid next year. And the reason that I say that is one of the things that we want to do for these anglers is we don't want to put one of our events on top of a Bass Open. And the reason that we don't want to do that is I don't believe that an angler should be taking away the opportunity to go to a classic, to cash a check, to put food on their table. So one of the prerequisites that we said to these anglers, if you come on board with us, that we're never going to schedule on top of a Bass Open. Now, we might be a week before, a week after. I don't know. We're going to have to look at the logistics of that. But that's an important opportunity for these anglers out there that have dreams of raising a classic trophy, and we don't want to take that away from them.
But so what I hear you saying, like, that's your target audience. So you may have to conflict with a Bass Pro Tour or an elite tournament. And you're not so concerned about that as you are the Coast is, where the Coast is and the Opens.
Well, I wouldn't say that. The Coastas, the BFLs, and all that stuff. Look, there's only so many dates. There's only so many lakes. We're all going to be vying for this and everything like that. But look, we do want a commitment as far as our trail goes. But the biggest thing to me, looking at schedule-wise, I want to look at the Bass Opens. I want to look at the Coastas, the BFLs. We'll be taking this all into consideration. But the key one for me, especially talking to anglers and kind of surveying them and getting their feelings, are those Bass Open dates. Paul can also add to that.
Well, I think we don't want to prioritize and not to talk out of school much, but one of the first things that we did was Al reached out to Bass and explained to him what was going on, who we were, what was happening. Everything that we've heard in response to that has been positive. We want to do exactly what we said we're doing and give these guys another opportunity to make money. I have the utmost respect for the Opens. I feel like the Opens is the hardest trail to qualify for, and it's to qualify for the elites through the Opens is one of the toughest mountains in fishing, and it always has been. That being said, if we prioritize, okay, don't schedule around the Opens, don't schedule around the elites, don't schedule around the FLW Pro Circuit, don't schedule around the FLW Tour, right? Didn't Coasters become Tour, I believe? And then the BFLs. I think the BFLs, in all due respect, I have a lot of good friends that fish the BFLs and do wonderful. If they want to step up, from the BFLs to another circuit, then we come into play. So I don't see there being a huge conflict with scheduling, on top of BFLs. What we probably will look out for more is that we're not scheduling on a 300 boat BFL at Hartwell the same week that they're fishing, that type of deal. We want to be the good guys. We want to work with everybody. We want to partner with other organizations. We want to make this truly a good environment for the anglers in the industry to be profitable and make money.
Beck, I know you had a question.
I do have a question. I like everything that you're saying. I like the national part. You're clearly going to try to put tournaments across the country. Clearly, it's fishing and it's a league. the professional part in your title confuses me, because I feel like what you're telling me that you're targeting are not the top level pros of the sport. And I might personally be a little bit more sensitive to the term professional, because I've lived for the last 13 years with people who have fought to get to that elite level in this sport. So I feel like this is my personal take. Don't be offended. I seem to like you. I'm just saying this. But
Hey,
professional
all
seems
questions
like
are good.
you're just throwing that around, which almost like detracts or takes something away from these guys that have been doing this for 15 years to get to this elite level. Like, I like what you're doing, but I don't see the part that it's a professional tour level, because no one's ultimately qualified to get there. So I'm just like, how did you come up with the name, and why use the word professional in there? Because I almost find it confusing.
Well, we did shop. We were shopping for URLs, and we looked for, as we've been referred to by other folks, we tried to buy the National Not So Professional Fishing League, and it was already taken. So
did Boyd buy that one up?
Boyd
we got bamboozled. we got pigeonholed into professional. That being said, the definition professional always gets debated. On the manufacturer side, I get hammered with that all the time. I think the consensus is that somebody can make a living full time from just fishing. That's like where nobody discounts that if you make your primary income from fishing, then you're a professional. But let me ask the folks sitting at the table, and Becky, you're included, Ike, how many jobs do you have between Ike Live, between what you do behind the scenes at some other organizations like Bass U? Y'all wear a lot of hats. I would consider those full-time jobs. I can go down the list and talk about guys like Kelly J, James Watson, people I know who are truly professionals, but they still have that 9-to-5 job day in and day out. And in the Elite Series, MLF, everywhere is littered with them. The jobs may not be traditional per se, but I would say what y'all do off the water is just as taxing and important as what Ike does. In no way do we want to lessen or disparage the sacrifice that the top 1% has made. All we're trying to do is give an opportunity to those folks. I've got Ike's book sitting on my shelf right here. I've read it cover to cover 12 times. Going from working at Dick's and fishing as hard as you can. John Cruz is a good friend of mine. Starting a company, going through college, doing everything he was doing while he was fishing to make his way. I fished an open with James Watson, the one he won at Table Rock, day 2. He was leading the event. I heard him taking phone calls, from the real estate office while he was leading the event on his home lake. I don't think that the general public understands the true sacrifice that folks have made to have their dream. All we're trying to do is give folks a little bit of help and a little bit of an easier path. Not in any way would we take away the fact that Gerald Swindle swung a hammer roofing and would go straight to the lake and be up sometimes 24, 48 hours at a time to live out his dream and do that. We love those stories. We want those folks, coming and helping us in showing, what they went through to get where they are, so that people understand the sacrifices that are truly made, not just by the anglers, but by their families.
Well, that was an extremely tough question you threw in, Becky. And at this time, I would like to nominate Paul Benson for president. And the way he handled that.
2024.
I know. I totally agree with what you're saying, and allowing, the working man. I just think that our ultimate goal, my goal. Okay, it's my goal. Sorry, I'm not. Who am I grouping in with me? Just me. But I feel like that we should get to a point that our professionals don't have to have another full-time job and kill themselves in 2 careers. And what you're creating is almost saying, yeah, you can have 2 careers and be a pro. Where what I'm over here doing with my marketing company is trying to find a way for guys to only be a professional angler. So I respect what you say. I just my view is different, and I'm good with that.
In order to be free from the 9-to-5 job or the part-time job or the supplemental income, I know guys trying to make it on the Elite Series who work 3 jobs, and they kill themselves doing it. Our goal is to offer a platform for them to make enough capital to then go have the freedom to focus on fishing. I don't think there's a professional angler out there who would disagree with the fact that and I've heard Gerald talk about it, I've heard Mike talk about it, I've heard all these professional anglers talking about it at Bass University events, at seminars all over the place. You don't fish for a check, you fish for that next fish. When you focus on that next fish, the checks will come, and everybody puts it out backwards. We want to help. We're going to have an education branch of what we do, because education's a big deal. Pete knows that I'm very passionate about talking to high schoolers, college kids, and saying, hey, this isn't how you do it to make the industry better. This is what we would like to see. These are the best practices that we've seen be successful. Anything we can do to help make the industry better, is the finite goal of what we're doing. And not just better for us, but better for the anglers. We all have separate vested interest. Al's got multiple companies that he owns and runs. Brad Fuller has a very difficult personal job that he faces on top of owning Omega Custom Tackle. So we are all guys wearing 2 and 3 hats at the same time. Our goal is not to be professional fishermen. We've seen it. We understand the sacrifices made. We understand the difficult road. We just get a much better blessing from lifting other people up and trying to give them their chance that they may or may not see.
And I'm about as unprofessional as it gets in fishing. That's why I'm on this end and not that end.
Yeah. I would love a like semi-pro setup like the Will Ferrell basketball movie. I'd be all in, because that's kind of my style. But I don't know how many guys are gonna, and that's where the $5,000 comes in. Look, we understand the dedication and the skin in the game. There isn't a single Elite Series pro who has thrown all of his, pardon me, Becky, but manhood on the table, jeopardizing his family, his whatever career to get to the level that he is. These people have literally given blood, sweat, and tears to be where they're at. In no way do we want to lessen that. As far as the term professional goes, I'm of the belief that people who act accordingly and people who are good representatives of the industry, I see a lot of high school and college kids who I consider professionals in their actions versus some other professionals who are legitimate professionals. I mean, that door swings both ways.
Yeah. Real quick, let me remind everybody, if you're watching and listening right now, if you've got a question or a comment for Al or Paul, if you've got a comment about what's going on here and what we're talking about, please hit us up on the IM, and we're going to pass them through. Riz, what do we got coming through right now?
We had a good question from Eric J, and he just wants Paul and AI to go a little bit deeper on how you're going to guarantee the exposure.
I'm artificial intelligence, man.
AI, like the answer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're from Philly, yeah. He wants you guys to go in a little bit deeper and kind of reiterate some of the ways you're going to guarantee exposure for your angler. So if somebody signs on and gets with you to do the $5,000 a tournament entry fees, how are you going to guarantee them exposure to maybe pick sponsors up, kind of grow their own brand inside of the fishing?
So that's the big key right there. A big question everybody's talking about: exposure, not only for the anglers and their career, their skills, but also for their sponsors. Most of those sponsors are basically filling that bill, if not all of it, 80% of it, whatever it might be. Our belief as far as an ownership group, everything's about live streaming. It's about the website. It's about social media. It's about that live streaming at launch, on the boat coverage, and at weigh-in. One of the big things and one big selling factor for us when it comes down to the events is not only is it important as far as that on-camera boat coverage of those anglers and seeing their different personalities, seeing those fish catches, but my big belief too is a trailer way into the stage, kind of like everybody's seen at the Classic. I mean, they're right there. You talk about fan involvement. You talk about exposure for those particular anglers and their sponsors. When they pull up to that stage and they're sitting in the back of that boat and either, their girlfriend, their wife, a friend, a dad, whoever pulls them up, we square them up, and from bumper to prop, their logo is out there from that 60 seconds to 120 seconds while they're weighing those fish up on stage there. And that's clear as a bell for everybody to see. So as far as that exposure goes there on that weigh-in part of it, I mean, that's going to be huge for these guys. We're also talking about different round tables. Certain guys are going to be running Mercury motors. Some guys will run some Yamahas. We'll have a Mercury motor round table. Maybe some guys are sponsored by, various other bait companies or cooler companies or apparel companies. We'll have round tables with these guys, and we'll get that media exposure for them. And this will all be documented on our website, on our social media platforms, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. So I think that combination there, a lot of people always talk about TV, and TV. Honestly, for me, when it comes to watching bass fishing, and I know that this is not the safest thing, so all you kiddies, close your ears. I'm watching this going down the road on my iPad, because I'm running and gunning all the time. Don't do that out there, kids. Get home, sit on your couch, get some popcorn. But I watch everything on my iPhone or my iPad or on my laptop. And that's really the key for us. We're not going to cut any corners when it comes to that live streaming exposure, simply because that's going to sell our product, to bring in those anglers, to get more sponsors for them, and also for our trail.
Al, I
Yes.
like what you're saying, but I think I passed you on the way to the studio tonight. You almost ran me off the road.
What was it? Was it my electric Prius?
I got another good one from
Wawa Hoagie lady?
No, from Blake.
Waxahachie, Texas.
Blake wants to know, are the tournaments going to be a first come, first serve basis, or are some of the potential pros going to have to submit a resume of other trail experiences to maybe get into your league?
We have a huge, undaunting task ahead of us of placing 125 boat field. 3 days ago, you might have gotten a little more reservation about that task from us and whether it was possible or not. In the last 48 hours, I have no doubt that we can field 125 boat field. The issue is going to be we have lots of great qualified anglers who we're going to have to tell no to. We're not going to. The great part about it is Al, myself, and Brad all have pretty good personal networks within the fishing industry to where we can pre-qualify folks, based on resume, experience, things of that nature. That being said, there will be 100% transparency about the process, where a lot of other folks say, well, we're going to do this, or do team sponsorship dollars come in? If and I'm just grabbing a name, but if Evan Rude were to come in and say, hey, we're going to sponsor it for $250,000, but you have to put these 6 pros in, that's not on the table right now for what we're trying to do. There are other organizations that operate under methodologies as such, and historically that's been a hurdle for some guys trying to get into different organizations. I will say at this point that there's nothing off the table. We have had calls, texts, and messages from, $1 million plus anglers, and we've had calls, texts, and messages from high school kids, college kids. I got one this morning from 2 gentlemen that are in their silver years, over 60 years old. Great guys. We'd love to have them, but having to say I'm going to pick one person over another is the biggest the biggest problem, because that's kind of counterintuitive to what we're trying to do. We want to be all inclusive as possible. That being said, we're not going to shop from the current organizations as they exist. If people approach us, they approach us. That's one thing. But we are not going to go and try to dangle team or tour money in front of somebody to get them away from somebody else.
Right, gotcha. We did have one question earlier, guys. We had Mark Jeffries on in the segment right before you, and he would kill me if I didn't ask this for him. His question.
It is Halloween.
Yeah,
Be
I know.
careful.
His question.
We're gonna go on BLT. I promise you.
Okay.
I know he keeps saying, "Will you be there? Will you be there?" Yes, we'll be there. It's just a matter of time frame. We love him. We love y'all. We love my good buddy Pat Renwick. Hint, hint. We want to be everywhere. But at the same time, y'all picked up the phone and called us first, and we're very, very thankful and honored that you did.
All right, so Mark's pass-on question tonight to you guys was, why sign a contract? He basically wanted to know, why are you making these guys commit to sign a contract to fish this new league?
Let me start with this, and then Paul, you'll end it on that one. Okay, so here's the benefit for not only the organization, but also for the anglers. As everybody's read in the press release, we get these anglers on there. We're asking for a 2-year commitment. We're giving you a platform to fish for 3 years, because we're asking for 2 years commitment and an option for a third. We want to be able to make sure that these anglers, look, they have an out just in case some type of family tragedy, God forbid, something financially, whatever it might be. But the biggest parties, whether it's the angler or the organization, number one, we want to market our anglers. We want to be able to show the personalities, build them up. It's like any other, baseball team or football team or something like that. I'm not comparing us to the NFL or Major League Baseball, but we want to have some time in order to promote these guys. The other factor for the anglers, at least in my opinion, and I could be wrong, I've been wrong many times before, I think if they go, when we give them that media package and they go to these sponsors and they say, look, there's a platform out there, $30,000 entry fee, $50,000 for first place, 1 in 3 anglers, an entry fee championship where the bottom angler of the top 25 that qualifies for $5,000 just for making it, $50,000 right now that we're putting in from those entry fees throughout the year. They go to their sponsors and say, look, I've got at least 2 years in an option for a third to fish this, and I'm going to give you 3 years of exposure for your brand, your product, or whatever it may be. So I think as far as what we're offering them, and we're going to have some clauses in there. We're working all the logistics as far as the language and the lawyers and all that stuff. But I really think it's important, not only for the organization, but most importantly for the anglers, to be able to go to a sponsor and say, look, I've got a platform for 2 years, possibly 3 if I want to take it. And they can sell them on giving them and basically investing in their talents to go out there and fish for big money. Paul, what do you want to add?
I think the contract will be a moot point once everybody reads it and sees it and sees that motivation behind it. I'll go back to transparency. Our goal is to be 100% transparent. We're not pulling any kind of, smoke and mirrors or tricks with these guys. This is these guys' livelihoods. Somebody's going to hand us $30,000 annually to participate in our organization. I'm going to protect him tooth and nail to ensure that he gets his return on investment.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Yep.
I get that.
And by the way, I want that Bass University hat, and you are Pat Renwick.
I got you. I'll send you a casting hat. I'm probably overdue. You probably asked me for one like 6 months ago, and
I did too.
It hasn't materialized yet. But
that's 3 of them.
If I can talk a little bit about that coming up, I am so looking forward to spending some time with Pete at the home court. In the next few weeks, we're gonna practice what's I know Christmas has Festivus. I don't know what the week before Thanksgiving's called, but
Pizza strength, baby. Pizza strength.
It'll be awesome.
Looking forward to it. I really am, Paul. Looking forward to spending some time with you.
So if anybody's watching, obviously the system's crashed here. Paul, you guys
Hey.
might know this, but audio's still running, but our video died about 10 minutes ago.
Hey, I want to tell you something real quick. Pickleball, you need to get in. It's a sport made for you.
Pickleball.
Get into pickleball. I'm going to leave you guys a real short, quick story about pickleball. We started playing about 4 years ago. You look at it on TV or you look at it on YouTube and you see these old folks down in Florida, pitter patter, all that stuff. Us young guys out there, we go out and we just try to welt the hell out of one another. We don't care about the points. We want to just mark up the other opponent. Believe it or not, I started playing this with some buddies of mine. 2 months later, I had a meeting with a trucking company, sat down at dinner. This guy's from Seattle, Washington. You can look this story up. He knew the family that invented the game pickleball. I said, how did they come about the name? They took a badminton net, put it on the ground, used wiffle balls, and they kept hitting it far away. Their dog Pickle would run after it, grab it, and bring it back. Hence the name. There's some facts for you right there that are just out of the ordinary.
Can I give a different perspective on Tackle Warehouse since we're reminiscing here a little bit? Some folks may know I work on the manufacturing side of the fishing industry. We are a small 100% made in America rod manufacturer out of Sanford, North Carolina.
Great rods.
I encourage everybody. Well, we have a huge independent dealer network that we are very appreciative of. Tackle Warehouse as a vendor of Tackle Warehouse, they treat us phenomenally. They do not slate us by size. They help ensure that American made products stay in business. They take care of us. They're wonderful, wonderful people. I was glad to see Corey and Daniel on. I heard that they both might be on the lam from Nashville, some experiences in Nashville, but I'll let them fill y'all in on that after the show.
We fished with your boy for a couple of days there.
Yeah.
Nashville.
Corey right now is thinking, how in the heck did we let Cash and Rod slip through the cracks?
Exactly.
Well, guys, I appreciate you coming on. This was very, very insightful for me, and I know for a lot of the listeners and viewers of Ike Live, we have a better understanding now of what this is all about.
We sure do.
And again, anything that grows the sport, that's going to get more people involved and make it more of a professional sport, I'm all for it. So, guys, Al, Paul, thank you. Al, I mean AI, thank you.
AI, baby. AI. Hey, appreciate you guys. Happy 100th show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And of course,
it's an honor. Thank y'all.
You got it.
Thanks, Paul.
All right, if you're still listening
right now, hang in there with us. We're going to try to reboot. And if we don't, thank you for watching and listening. This was show 100. It might be the last show.
How fitting that it just
crash.
Same way we started.
Going out the way you came in.
We're going out the way we came in.
Guys,
That's right.
hang with us. We're going to reboot the computers here and see if we can get back up and running with you. We still got a ton of people on all the platforms, so stick with us. We're gonna bring it back.
Thank you, Rocket.
Lots of surprises and fun coming in the next segment. He cut me out. Lots of surprises and fun at the next segment. Okay, bye. Bye.
How many people do I need to take us out? Pete, do you want to take us out now?
Take us out, Pete. Daniel, take us out.
We'll be right back, bitches.